part of being able to work with a system that's experienced spiritual trauma is to recognize that often there's been this process of deconstruction that's happened, and a lot of parts were needed in that process. And in the way that we say that, there's no bad parts. There, these are really good parts. And they're parts that we want to honor in the healing process because they've already been part of the healing process. They've already done some of the healing work. And we don't want to sort of diminish the work that they've already done. And also they only have part of the picture. They only have part of the puzzle. And so for them to realize they don't have to do all of the heavy lifting, that there is sort of this self energy that's there that can support the healing work, but that it comes from inside. Nobody's going to impose it on them, is huge. So yeah, a lot of time hanging out with skeptical parts, with thinking parts, with no bullshit parts or no woo-woo parts, to really honor what their concerns are. And then just noticing kind of where the curiosity wants to go. And that's why IFS, I think, is so brilliant for this work, is because it's kind of agnostic in a way, right? Like, people can work with IFS within a Christian framework, within a Muslim framework, within a Jewish framework, or they can work with it in a spiritual framework that doesn't involve any sort of particular religious paradigm. So it really leaves it kind of open-ended for wherever the curiosity of an individual self kind of wants to lead.
Mhm. I think it's really cool how IFS is evolving more and more into the spiritual realms. And a lot more people are using IFS as a spiritual practice, almost
Mhm.
to invite in a deeper level of healing, right? That
Yeah.
might be accessible without that spiritual side of that.
Yeah, and that's, the trouble of how a lot of Western psychology has gone is it's really divided mind, body, and spirit. And I think the models that are emerging now around trauma healing are really reminding us that the three areas need to be integrated, and healing needs to kind of be offered on all three levels in an integrated way, for it to really provide any sort of transformational potential. And so IFS, yeah, offers us this ability to kind of offer that connection. Spirituality for some people can just be defined as connection, right? And so when we connect with our parts, that's an inherently spiritual act. When we connect with self, that's inherently spiritual. It doesn't have to go any more woo-woo than that. It's just about connection. Mhm.
It feels really freeing that, and I'm guessing for a lot of people who, oh, I don't want to connect with God or the universe, but you can have inner spirituality, right, through it, just inner connection with yourself, and that can be
Yeah.
enough, right? And so, there's something really special about the whole spectrum of what spirituality can look like under the IFS paradigm, which doesn't have to prescribe to one end of that continuum or the other end of that continuum.
Yeah, and the sea of curiosity allows a lot of room for experimentation. We can be playful with it, right? We can just explore what it means to us to have that connection, or to explore that deeper meaning, some of those deeper questions, without having any prescribed answers that we have to, or conclusions that we have to come to.